It was daylight last night. I heard him in the house. If you don't think that raises the hackles, neck, my head, when it's dark out, especially what it is. Well, the rain's gonna dry up before it gets here. I guess that's okay in this instance. Might get a few sprinkles, but what a veil. Lovely veil. There's a raindrop. I don't know if you can hear the wind. I don't know what good it's going to do me here. Maybe 5% of the raindrops aren't going to hit me in here. It's going to be over in about 30 seconds. Well, as long as we're down here. Wanted to see what the pool looks like. If Otter Pond is any indication, it won't look much different. I didn't think to put the little waterproof door on this thing, the GoPro. Come here. Heel. Come here. Heel. There's a little more water. Slightly, about a ½ an inch worth. The only problem with being out in a warm summer rain without a raincoat is it's not as warm as it would be on a 90-degree day. Come on. She loves to walk just in front of me or just at my side and encroaching on my space. I give one of her hind legs a nudge and she gets the idea. See, the rain's done. If I hang around out here for 5 minutes, I'll be dried off. One yellow jacket caught up to me and is flying along my right elbow. I looked away, and he must have flown away. Thank goodness. I haven't paid any attention to these for a couple weeks now, and this thing is doing beautifully. That thing's doing all right too. This volunteer aster it's doing beautifully. I guess it's getting water from the rain and the overflow from the pots. Up in this tree, you can probably see it from here. There's a hornet's nest or wasp nest. I discovered it a few weeks ago. Chuck was coming over to take down these trees, and before I got here, for some reason I looked up, oh, I better get that taken care of before he gets here. It was earlier in the morning. There were a few wasps in and out, but I got the poison out and sprayed it. Problem solved. I walked by here a couple hours ago, and it was a swarming mass of dozens of yellow jackets and or larger wasps or larger yellow jackets. I couldn't be sure. They looked like yellow jackets, but they were twice the usual size of yellow jackets. But I mean, this was alive with non-stop flying. Darkness is relentlessly overtaking us. Us as in the human population, but me in particular. I've been keeping a record document of sunrise, sunsets. Well, I began it in January, all excited to record the increasing amount of daylight. It would increase about, on average, 1 minute a day. It alternates between 1 and 2 minutes per day. More daylight as we got into March and April and May and June. And then suddenly, everything began to regress. But every year, and it's always the same for me, every year, it's not really going to happen. And nothing really begins changing the day of the solstice in June. It's a week or two before you begin to see, well, there's 1 minute less. It's no big deal. Whatever. And to my horror, we're now regressing by 2 minutes a day at both morning and evening, sunrise and sunset. Oh my God. And now it's become very apparent in the last 3 or 4 weeks. At first I could look the other way and pretend it really wasn't. You know, it is still getting light at 5:30. Now it's beginning to get light 6:30. When I get up, I get the coffee going, take Suki out for a morning pee. Well, back in June it was light. My only real concern is for Suki's safety out here on the bog. And then when I hear the coyotes and the wolves at night, oh Christ, now I know they're in the neighborhood, just looking for a lame dog they can attack, because that's what they attack, are the infirm members of a pack that can't run like the others can run. So that's the one they single out and kill and eat. Look at the size of that thing. Great topsoil. Well, I'm going to be talking about gophers in the next day or two for you, because I've found out some very interesting things about gophers that have modified my hatred of them. I cut these off 2 years ago, or maybe 3, before I had any firewood at all, thinking that they would grow back or, leaf out. Well, this one has not, obviously, but nonetheless, it's a nice conversation piece. This one has leafed out, or continued to leaf out. I like it. It's quirky. That sure looks like maple. Looked at it a few days ago, all excited from a distance, thinking, hey, there's another maple on the property. Nope. That's red oak. Now, is this guy trapped or just dying a natural death? Oh, look at the blue on him. It. Not going to show me. Iridescent blue. Isn't that sad? Totally dead. I believe it was a combination of the heat and the frost killing frostbite. So between that one and, oh, this one is new this year. That's the one I brought in June. And I don't know what the color of that means. I think it's red maple, but it's it has been maroon like that for a couple weeks. So is it dying too? And this maple, I am afraid, is going the way of the other maple I lost. And that oak is looking pretty shabby also. That maple looks fine. That oak looks okay. And that maple looks fairly healthy. Why can't I find where they are centered at? Where's the nest? And what is attracting them? A couple nights ago, I went out in the morning, 5:30. Went out for coffee on the deck, dark yet. A wolf began to howl. It was daylight last night. I heard him in the house. Doors shut. I recorded that on video. Now, if you don't think that raises the hackles on my arms, the back of my neck, my head, when it's dark out, especially what is it about dark? You can't see, and they could be sneaking up on you, and you wouldn't know it until suddenly the jaws are ripping open your neck and your carotid artery, and I guess you wouldn't care for more than 30 seconds. I'm getting to the point, I don't want to live here anymore. I'm becoming afraid of going outside. And the reason I have become afraid, I worked with a wolf specialist in Wisconsin before I moved here. And she wanted me to record interviews with people that have had wolf impacts in the past few years. And we did. The last guy we talked to, he was out walking on a forest road with his 3 dogs, one of which was an older dog. This was in the spring of the year, maybe March. And they were walking along. The 2 younger dogs were with him, beside him. The older dog had lagged behind. It was daytime, and he heard an odd sound and turned and looked, and a wolf was attacking the older dog. I don't know how far back the older dog was. And he didn't have a weapon with him. There was really nothing he could do except hurry back to his truck, get a weapon. But when he got back to the dog, it was dead. It had been attacked and killed by a wolf. A single wolf, not a pack of wolves, a single wolf. Well, we've got wolves here. And I've talked about 3 winters ago, I was driving into town on the main highway. Middle of the day, it was February. Down ahead, down the highway, a dog was trotting toward me in the oncoming lane. Oh, okay, well, it'll get off the highway. Well, it did not get off the highway. I continued on, slowing down as the dog approached. It was not a dog, it was a wolf, full-grown wolf, alone. And I pulled up alongside, thinking he's going to run off. It did not run off. He paused and looked over at me from 10 feet away, not afraid at all. And that's interesting. And I continued on my way, and he continued on his way, heading east down the highway. They are here. That's why I'm afraid to go out at night with her, because I'm surrounded by forest, and they can be lurking 20 or 30 yards in the brush. I can't see them. Even with the yard lights on, the light falls off almost immediately, even though you got white snow on the ground in the winter, that helps illuminate things. There's a point where you can't see anymore, and they can run out of the woods in an instant and attack. Suki's laying at my feet. She's afraid of the yellow jackets too. And I've had the wolf lady and wolf specialists on the radio downplay. This was going on in Wisconsin, and it's going on here. The real risk is minimal. Don't be foolish when you're out in the woods. Well, what does that mean? Being out in the woods by itself is being foolish when there's wolves around. And I got a dog that can run, but not like she could when she was 3 years old. She could probably outrun a wolf back then. So I've been encouraged when I express concern for my own dog to the wolf lady. No, don't. What else can they say? Don't worry about it. Why not? It's a worryable situation. Well, now you add the yellow jackets on top of it. I know they aren't going to rip out my carotid artery, but it'll sure feel like it. Okay. The wolves that I played the audio for you, were probably a half a mile away, but they are right in the direction south of here, in the field area. That's not a half a mile, but they are in the woods where Suki and I walked a year ago. Wolf country, I call it. Dennis has a network of trails back there. I should be using this hand so you could see it, not over here where it's out of wolf country. And Suki and I had a good time a year ago walking the trails, never once thinking about this is prime wolf habitat. It's quite a large forested area. And I sort of made a resolution I couldn't do that anymore. And so what do we do this year? 6 weeks ago, walk back on the trails. It'll be okay. I don't think I even thought about it. Bright daytime, nice day. And now the wolves I heard in the last 2 days were howling from that exact large area of forest. So, God, I got to take Dennis's field in the South Pool off my list of places we can go walk. At the very least, I wouldn't go further than the wooden bridge he's got to cross there into the woods to the east. Or maybe that, I don't know. I'm tired of being worried and concerned. We've had a hell of a summer. The worst summer I can remember ever. The air quality, it's up around 150 for a while this summer. The orange sun going down at night, oh, how beautiful is that? Well, it's not beautiful when you understand why it's orange. The heat, the relentless heat, on and on and on and on and on. The yellow jackets, now the wolves, now the drought. All of those have just taken a real toll. I'm tired. I'm so tired of being afraid, or not afraid. Well, I'm afraid of the wolves. I'm worn out from being worried. I just want to have a normal summer, just like a lot of people in the world right now, at least in the US. They want to get over COVID, so they're going about not wearing masks, not doing vaccinations, just pretending like there is no COVID-19 with the Delta variant, highly infectious. People get weary, and I'm weary. Not of COVID. People are being extremely selfish, like us Americans can be now. I live alone in the world. I don't have to worry about anybody but me, and nobody better criticize what I do. It's a free country. Yeah.